What if we peel back the curtain on this elaborate trap of belief to reveal a far more sinister truth? That humanity's most sacred season is actually a composite of ancient rituals, borrowed symbols, and commercial campaigns. Christmas may not have been born of faith, but of a human desire to turn darkness into light. The day billions of people look forward to was built on something no one ever witnessed. According to Christian tradition, Jesus is believed to have been born in Bethlehem, ancient Judea, now Palestine, sometime between 7 BC and 2 AD. But there is no line in the Bible that says exactly when that was. For the first 3 centuries, Christians did not celebrate his birthday. No trees, no festivals, no lights, only faith. Then, in the 4th century, the Roman Catholic Church made a decision that changed history, choosing December 25th as the anniversary of the birth of Christ, coinciding with the time when the ancient Romans celebrated Sol Invictus, the eternal sun. Some scholars believe this was a clever way to replace old beliefs with new ones. Others believe it was simply the calculus of faith. From a historical void, December 25th became a symbol of all humanity, an uncertain birthday becoming the holiest day in the world. Get ready to turn the pages of history, the corners of culture, and discover interesting things you may never have realized about the holiday you love. If Christmas had a hometown, it would be Rovaniemi. Nestled on the edge of the Arctic Circle, this tiny Finnish city feels like a doorway between myth and reality. Every December, it transforms into a snow-covered dreamscape. Endless pine forests, glazed in silver frost, frozen rivers glowing under a pink twilight sky. And the aurora borealis painting waves of emerald and violet above the horizon. But beneath the beauty lies something deeper, a curious harmony between fantasy and faith. Here you can visit Santa Claus's official post office. Every year, over 500,000 letters flood Santa's official post office, each one addressed to a man no one has ever seen. Some say the truest wonder of Rovaniemi isn't found in Santa's letters, it lies within the snow itself. Step into the labyrinth of ice and silence at Snowman World, and you'll feel it walls of frozen light rising around you, shifting with every breath of wind. The air glows, blue footsteps echo like whispers of forgotten dreams, and for a moment it's impossible to tell where the maze ends. Reindeer bells echo softly through the night as sleighs glide over glittering snow. Look up, the aurora borealis dances like a living soul across the sky. The ancient Sami once warned, never whistle when the lights appear. They believed it might call the spirits closer, or worse, pull you into their eternal dance. Christmas here isn't a date. It's a mystery between what we know and what we believe. Christmas in Paris is not just seen. It is felt in every breath, every cold breeze of the city. As the winter wind blows down the Champs-Élysées, thousands of white lights begin to twinkle, transforming the street into an earthly galaxy. What few people know is that these lights are not just decorative. They are programmed to change their intensity and hue subtly every few minutes, creating an invisible flow of light that you can only feel, not grasp. The sound of shoes crunching on the dewy pavement, the bells of Notre Dame still ringing over the Seine despite its restoration, and the smell of roasting chestnuts in the cold air all create a symphony that only Paris could write. On Place Vendôme, a towering Christmas tree stands tall among the lavish shops. But if you wander late enough into the narrow alleys of Montmartre, you might stumble upon a small, unmarked cafe that only opens on Christmas Eve to tell ghost stories of Paris by candlelight. Legends of ghosts of lovers or secrets buried underground for hundreds of years. If you happen to wander into a Christmas market in Paris, you will be captivated by the sparkling carousel and the countless overwhelming stalls. Amidst all the glittering lights, Paris still retains its own gentle darkness, where the magic does not come from gifts or wishes, but from the loneliness wrapped in light. London at Christmas isn't just bright, it's alive. White lights line Regent Street like streams of memories flowing back in time. Through the thin fog, the city seems to be telling its own story. Every cobblestone, every building holds the echoes of winters past. In Covent Garden, silver lights reflect off snow-covered bronze statues, making the square seem caught between reality and fantasy. It's said that if you stand there at midnight, you'll hear a violin playing somewhere, a song no one knows who's playing. Along the Thames Westminster Bridge is covered in white mist, and the lights of the London Eye reflect off the water, like a giant eye opening in the middle of the night. There's something almost surreal about it, a modern city with an ancient soul, cold yet alive, opulent yet haunting. London doesn't make you believe in magic. It makes you suspect that the magic never disappeared, just hidden in the mist, waiting to be found among the quietly dimming lights of Christmas Eve. Across Europe, winter transforms ancient cities into theaters of light and silence. Snow gathers on rooftops, older than nations, bells echo through fog, and the scent of cinnamon wax and roasted nuts drifts like a memory. But behind every glowing market lies a secret stories of resistance, loneliness, and faith that refuse to die. In Copenhagen, winter feels softer, as if the snow itself carries warmth. Tivoli Gardens, one of the oldest amusement parks in the world, transforms into a glowing labyrinth of lanterns and fairy lights. Wooden stalls brim with handmade toys and marzipan hearts, and every tree sparkles like a star brought to earth. The aroma of roasted almonds, cinnamon, and mulled wine drifts through the air, while children's laughter melts into the faint chime of carousel bells. Along Niehafen Canal, reflections of red, blue, and yellow houses ripple on the icy water, creating a living painting, framed by fog. But step away from the lights, and another Copenhagen emerges quiet, almost fragile. The Danes call it hygge, the art of making warmth out of nothing, yet some whisper it was born not from comfort, but from loneliness. The need to keep the darkness of the endless winter at bay. In this city of light, perhaps the most beautiful thing isn't what you see, but what you're afraid to lose when the candles burn out. Christmas. In Riga comes slowly, it seems to have flown out of the memory of old Europe. In the central market square, amid the tilted Hanseatic roofs and the icy breath of the Baltic Sea, a glittering fir tree stands tall. Riga residents believe that it was here in 1510 that the world's first Christmas tree was erected not for decoration, but to be burned in a ritual farewell to winter. By day, snow covers the red-tiled roofs like powdered sugar on gingerbread. At night, the golden light reflected off the Daugava River makes the city look like a forgotten jewel in the icy cold. Old cafes open their doors smelling of cinnamon and pine resin. Street musicians play Baltic folk songs that sound like lullabies from the snow. But what sets Riga apart is not just its beauty, but the feeling that time here does not follow the usual rules. Under the flickering Christmas lights, you can hear the footsteps of the 16th century on the old stones, or see the silhouettes of the old tradesmen quietly passing by, carrying with them dreams of eternal winter. And when the bells of St. Peter's Church ring out in the mist, you suddenly understand. Christmas in Riga is not just celebrated, it is remembered like a promise from the past to the future. From the cathedral steps, Strasbourg looks like it was built of gingerbread and courage. Often called the capital of Christmas, this medieval Franco-German border city has hosted Europe's oldest Christmas market since 1570. This is the Christkindlesmarkt. Walking its narrow streets feels like stepping into a fairy tale written in light. Ornate houses lean over cobblestone streets. Christmas bells, fir branches, and tinsel cling to wooden beams like lipstick on a face faded by time. The smell of gingerbread and spiced wine curls beneath the soaring spires of the cathedral, a Gothic masterpiece glowing gold against the winter sky. Its beauty belies a little-remembered story. There were years when Christmas was banned here. War, occupation, and borders have tried to dull its joy, but people still light candles of rebellion made of wax and hope. Each decoration becomes a prayer. Each Bredel biscuit, a promise that faith will overcome fear. Listen closely, and you will hear hymns in two languages, French and German, mingling like the twin souls of the city. Somewhere in the crowd, a brass band plays softly, and for a moment, time stands still. They call Prague the city of 100 spires. But on a winter night, it feels more like a city of ghosts, beautiful ones draped in gold and silence. From the astronomical clock tower, Prague unfolds like a frozen fairy tale, a labyrinth of spires, stone bridges, and candlelit windows flickering through the fog. The Old Town Square glows in amber, every cobblestone shimmering beneath the soft weight of snow. Brass trumpets echo from church balconies, while choirs fill the narrow alleys with hymns that sound older than memory. On Christmas Eve, every Czech household serves carp, not turkey, not ham, but a fish that spends its final days swimming in the family bathtub. Children feed it breadcrumbs, sometimes even name it, before it becomes the centerpiece of the holiday feast. Some say it's a symbol of luck. Others whisper it's a quiet lesson in letting go. Vendors twist coils of sweet Tedalnik dough over open flames, sugar crystallizing in the night air. The smell of cinnamon smoke and butter drifts through the square as the clock strikes another hour of mechanical angels moving across the tower like time itself comes alive. Every story hides a superstition, every celebration a trace of sorrow. Vienna doesn't celebrate Christmas, it conducts it. The city moves in rhythm like a waltz written for snowflakes and strings. At Rathausplatz, golden lights crown the market in front of the grand neo-Gothic City Hall, while the scent of roasted chestnuts and sachertorte seeps into the frosty air. Further down, the Schönbrunn Palace glows like liquid honey under a violet sky. Stalls line the square, selling crystal ornaments and hand-carved angels that look too delicate to touch. Inside candlelit halls, musicians tune their instruments, violins, cellos, and flutes warming up for the night's performance. Vienna's Christmas carries an impossible grace poised between holiness and art. The melodies of Mozart and Haydn drift from open doors, merging with church choirs, until it's hard to tell where devotion ends and beauty begins. Budapest shimmers like a mirage. The Danube divides it into two halves, Buda and Pest reflections of each other, glittering beneath bridges that glow like strings of fire in the snow. Along Vörösmarty Square, the Christmas market hums with a gentler rhythm, the scent of chimney cakes spinning over open coals. Mulled wine steaming in the cold laughter, echoing beneath Baroque facades. But the true heart of Budapest beats in front of St. Stephen's Basilica. As night falls, its facade transforms into a canvas of light, a 3D symphony of color and motion that dances across the ancient stone. Saints and angels flicker to life bathed in blues and golds as carols swell from hidden speakers. For a moment, faith becomes spectacle. There's a softness to this city's winter. Couples hold hands by the frozen riverbank. Trams slide past like ghosts through the mist. In the distance, the Parliament glows massive, solemn, and surreal, as if guarding the memory of a century that never really ended. They say faith is invisible, but in Rome, it glows. On Christmas Eve, the eternal city hums with devotion. St. Peter's Square becomes a sea of flickering candles and breathless silence as thousands gather beneath the towering tree and the life-sized Presepe nativity scene that feels more alive than stone. The Pope's midnight mass echoes through the colonnades, a sound so ancient it seems carved into the marble itself. But beyond the Vatican walls, Christmas in Rome turns playful. The Piazza Navona bursts into color carousel lights, spinning under Baroque fountains, children clutching sweets of panettone and Torrone. Vendors sell handcrafted angels beside street magicians, faith and beauty sharing the same stage. Every bell, every bite, every prayer reminds you holiness here isn't distant. Christmas feels older Edinburgh, like a memory passed down through stone. The castle looms above the city, its ramparts glowing amber against the storm clouds. Below Prince's Street Gardens transforms into a whirl of ice rinks, market stalls, and bagpipes that sound like the wind itself. But it's not Christmas that defines Scotland, it's Hogmanay. A New Year celebration louder, wilder, older than Christmas itself. Fireballs are swung through the streets of Stonehaven. Torches blaze down the Royal Mile as midnight draws near. What began as a pagan ritual to chase away dark spirits now burns as one of Europe's grandest spectacles. Few remember that for nearly 400 years, Christmas was banned in Scotland, outlawed as a Catholic excess. Maybe that's why the Scots celebrate harder, longer, louder. Their winter isn't about gifts, it's about survival joy and rebellion. Leaving the Arctic wilderness behind, you can drift south toward a city that glows from within Stockholm. In December, the Swedish capital turns into a living snow globe. Narrow cobblestone alleys in Gamla Stan shimmer beneath strings of golden light, while windows flicker with candles that seem to chase away the polar night. Here, Christmas isn't loud, it's intimate. It's my sight a word Swedes use to describe that perfect blend of warmth, comfort, and closeness. You taste it in a cup of mulled wine. Feel it in the creak of an old wooden door, opening to laughter and light. On December 13th, Stockholm celebrates St. Lucia Day, a hauntingly beautiful procession of girls dressed in white, crowned with candles, carrying light through the darkness. Few remember that this ritual once had a purpose: to ward off spirits, said to wander freely on the longest night of the year. Wooden dollar horses, ginger cookies, and soft choirs echoing through medieval streets. This is Stockholm's Christmas quiet, glowing timeless. In most cities, Christmas ends at midnight. In Dublin, that's when it starts to make sense. On Grafton Street, buskers strum guitars under halos of fairy lights, their breath turning to mist as crowds sing along. Inside the pubs, the fire crackles, pints clink, and violins carry the night away in what the Irish call crick joy, so fierce it borders on rebellion. But beneath the laughter lies something older, the Wren Boys. Every December 26th, men and women don wild costumes, masks and feathers, marching through the streets to the rhythm of drums. The tradition once honored the tiny wren, a bird said to betray Saint Stephen, and now stands as a haunting echo of Ireland's pagan roots wrapped in Christian song. In Dublin, Christmas never ends with midnight mass. It spills into morning, into music, into the soul. New York doesn't celebrate Christmas, it produces it. Every December, the city turns into the world's largest stage, set an empire of lights, glass, and illusion. The Rockefeller Center tree rises like a modern cathedral wrapped in 50,000 LED stars. While below it, skaters glide across the ice as if defying gravity. But the real magic of New York hides behind glass. Along Fifth Avenue, luxury stores wage an unspoken war window, displays so extravagant they cost more than small-town parades. Angels made of Swarovski crystal, all for a luxury nativity. Here, devotion wears sequins and worship flickers in LED. And yet when snow begins to fall through the glare, even the neon seems to pray. For one fragile instant, illusion becomes truth, and New York remembers what wonder feels like. Some call it the most beautiful Christmas city in North America, but Quebec feels less like a city and more like a dream preserved in frost. Snow drapes over cobblestone streets and Gothic roofs, muffling every sound but the crunch of footsteps. The Chateau Frontenac towers above, glowing like a fortress made of light. Inside cafes, candles burn beside steaming cups of maple cider, their scent sweet enough to make the cold feel holy. Beneath the romance lies a haunting thought. This is the only walled city left in North America, a medieval fortress frozen in time, celebrating a European Christmas thousands of miles from its origin. It's as if the old world, refusing to die, rebuilt itself here, among the ice and pine. Quebec's Christmas isn't loud, it lingers in the echo of a choir, Christmas in Moscow is not gentle. It is bright cold and overwhelming, as if the city were made of ice and gold. Red Square becomes a universe of its own. The onion domes of St. Basil's Cathedral glow with fireworks, and the Kremlin is covered in sparkling lights, reflecting the white snow like frozen diamonds. People skate around Lenin's statue, drink hot mead between walls that have seen centuries of ups and downs. The atmosphere is both sacred and secular, where carols ring out from Orthodox churches and pop music echoes from Manizhnaya Square. Sometimes Moscow makes you doubt your eyes. On Red Square, the snow doesn't just fall, it glows, reflecting off thousands of light bulbs as if the sky were melting to the ground. The gilded domes seem to burn in the purple sunset, and the smoke from the mead stalls rises into the mist, creating a sweet, mysterious haze. Along the Moskva River, the frozen water reflects the Kremlin towers like a double mirage, a real city and a dream city. Sometimes you can hear church bells ringing from under the ice, as if someone is praying below the river. Bethlehem isn't just a name here, it's a mission. Founded by Moravian settlers in 1741, the quiet Pennsylvania town was meant to embody faith itself. Now, every winter, the streets transform into a living nativity carolers in lantern light, wooden stalls selling handmade stars, and the smell of cinnamon and pine thick in the air. Look closer, and the paradox deepens. This Bethlehem draped in tinsel and neon is half devotion, half nostalgia, a replica of the Holy Land, built on American soil. On Main Street, Christ-Kindlemarkte stalls sell ornaments shaped like angels, next to mugs of hot cider and artisan cheese. It's as though the sacred has been carefully rebranded for a modern age. In Seoul, Christmas doesn't belong to the church, it belongs to the heart. Myeongdong glitters like a galaxy of shop signs. Gangnam pulses with synchronized carols, and snow, when it appears, looks almost digital, as if rendered just for the season. It's strange. A country once rooted in Confucian restraint now celebrates a Western holiday of excess and affection. Cafes overflow with couple sets, chocolate hearts replace nativity scenes. And love hotels advertise holy night discounts. The city doesn't worship a savior, it worships connection. And yet beneath the noise and color, there's a tenderness you can't fake. Even the most skeptical souls pause when the first snow falls, whispering a wish into the frozen air, as if somewhere between the neon and the night soul still believes in a kind of miracle of its own making. In Singapore, Christmas blooms without winter. Every December, Orchard Road transforms into a river of light, a digital aurora shimmering above palm trees. The air smells not of pine and frost, but of rain and cinnamon. At Gardens by the Bay, the Garden Rhapsody pulses in sync with carols, a forest that sings a miracle, powered by circuitry. In a city that blends steel with jungle Christmas, becomes something splendid, angels made of holograms, trees that bloom in pixels, families taking photos beside robotic reindeer. And still somehow the magic feels real. Maybe because Singapore doesn't borrow Christmas, it redesigns it. Here, faith hums in circuitry, and wonder glows in the warmth of the equator. In Hong Kong, Christmas is an opera of opposites. Across Victoria Harbour, skyscrapers pulse in rhythm, a celestial dance of light, known as the Symphony of Lights. Every tower becomes a hymn, every reflection on the water, a new verse. It's beautiful and a little unsettling. Beneath the glow of Louis Vuitton and Cartier signs, old cathedrals still echo with midnight hymns. It's a city that prays in two languages, English and Cantonese, money and memory. And when the fireworks reflect off the water, it's hard to tell which is more divine, the miracle or the illusion. Faith and commerce, incense and electricity all coexist unapologetically. Some call it chaos, others call it balance, because in Hong Kong, belief isn't about what's sacred, it's about what survives. Christmas was never just a date, it's a rhythm. A pulse that moves through cities and centuries, through faith and fantasy, changing its form, but never its meaning. Some find it in prayer, others in music, in laughter, in light. But everywhere it whispers the same thing, that wonder is not bound to time or place or belief.